There comes a point in life where you realize that your peace is priceless. Not everyone deserves your reaction, and not every situation needs your energy. The most powerful version of you is the one who chooses calm over chaos, stillness over struggle, and self-respect over unnecessary battles. Today, let us explore how to embody a mindset where nothing and no one can disturb your inner world. There is a moment in life when you realize that no matter how much you plan, push, or try to force things, there will always be circumstances beyond your control. People will behave in ways you do not expect. Situations will arise that you could never have predicted. Life will present both opportunities and challenges without warning, and the more you try to grasp and hold on to what cannot be held, the more drained and frustrated you become. Detachment is not about caring less. It is about caring for yourself enough to release what is not yours to carry. It is about choosing peace over the endless pursuit of control. Imagine carrying a heavy bag filled with stones everywhere you go. Each stone represents something you cannot change, someone else's opinion, a past mistake, a missed opportunity, an unpredictable future. As you walk with that burden, your steps become slower, your shoulders ache, and your energy fades. Detachment is like setting down that bag and realizing you were never meant to carry all those stones in the first place. The past has already written its chapter, and the future is yet to unfold, but this moment is where your power lies. When you learn to detach from what you cannot control, you reclaim the energy that was once scattered in worry, anger, or overthinking. Detachment does not mean you stop caring about people or outcomes. It means you stop tying your peace to them. You can still love deeply without clinging. You can still give your best without obsessing over results. You can still hope without depending on a certain outcome for your happiness. This kind of detachment is healthy because it frees you from the emotional chains of expectation. It allows you to breathe even when others are storming around you. It allows you to see life with clearer eyes instead of tinted by fear or frustration. One of the greatest illusions we carry is the belief that if we just try harder, hold on tighter, or think long enough, we can change things that were never ours to change. But true strength is found in the ability to release, to say, I have done my part, and now I let life do its part. This is not giving up, this is rising above. It is the wisdom to know where your responsibility ends and where the flow of life begins. It is like standing at the edge of the ocean, knowing that you can swim, you can navigate, but you cannot command the tides. When you detach from what you cannot control, you stop wasting precious energy on trying to rewrite other people's choices or force a timeline that is not yet ready. You stop letting your inner world be a reflection of external chaos. Instead, you become the calm in the middle of the storm. People may come and go. Opportunities may appear and disappear. Plans may fall apart and be rebuilt again. Through it all, you remain steady, because your sense of peace no longer depends on the unpredictable dance of life. This practice of detachment begins with awareness. Notice where you are holding too tightly. Is it in a relationship where you constantly try to fix someone? Is it in a dream where you demand instant results? Is it in a memory where you keep replaying what you could have done differently? Ask yourself, does this holding on bring me peace, or does it drain me? If it drains you, it is a signal to release. Releasing does not always mean walking away. Sometimes it simply means loosening your grip, letting things breathe, and trusting that life has its own intelligence. As you learn to detach, you begin to live with more ease. Conversations flow without the need to prove yourself. Decisions feel lighter because you are no longer paralyzed by what ifs. Nights become more restful because you stop wrestling with the things you cannot fix while lying awake. Your heart opens, not closes, because you are no longer guarding it with walls of fear and control. And perhaps most importantly, you begin to discover your true power. Real power is not in controlling everything. It is in controlling yourself. It is in your ability to remain kind in the face of rudeness, calm in the face of chaos, and peaceful in the face of uncertainty. This is where your transformation begins. When you let go of what is not yours to hold, your hands become free to build, to receive, and to embrace what is truly meant for you. So today, choose to release the weight of what you cannot control. Breathe in deeply and let the heaviness fall away. Trust that the universe has a rhythm far greater than any plan you could create. You are safe. You are guided. And life, when allowed to flow, often works out far more beautifully than you could have ever imagined. Your energy is one of the most valuable resources you have, yet it is often the one thing people give away too freely without realizing its cost. Every thought you entertain, every conversation you engage in, every situation you choose to participate in either fuels your energy or drains it. When you begin to see your energy as treasure, you start treating it with the same care and protection as you would something rare and precious. Guarding your energy is not about isolating yourself from the world. It is about becoming aware of where your power flows and making conscious choices to preserve it for what truly matters. Think of your energy as a bank account. Every day, you have a limited number of deposits you can make. Some things will replenish that account. Rest, positive connections, meaningful work, and moments of peace. Other things will drain it. Arguments, toxic relationships, overthinking, constant exposure to negativity. If you keep spending more than you deposit, eventually you go into emotional overdraft. You feel tired, resentful, uninspired, and even lost. But when you guard your energy like treasure, you start to make wise transactions. You stop giving discounts to people who do not value you. You stop offering unlimited access to those who take without giving. You begin to invest in yourself, and from that place, you become stronger, calmer, and more radiant. Guarding your energy begins with self-awareness. Pay attention to how you feel after being around certain people or engaging in certain activities. Does your spirit feel lighter or heavier? Do you leave feeling expanded or depleted? Your body and mind always send signals, but you must learn to listen. Often, we ignore the signs because we fear saying no, we fear being judged, or we fear missing out. But saying yes to everything is not generosity, it is self-neglect. Real generosity comes from a full cup, not an empty one. To guard your energy, you must first decide that your well-being matters. One of the most powerful ways to protect your energy is by setting clear boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors. They do not shut people out. They teach people how to enter your life with respect. A boundary might be saying no to a conversation that is full of gossip and negativity. It might be limiting the time you spend on social media if it leaves you feeling anxious or inadequate. It might be choosing to walk away from people who constantly drain you without offering support in return. Each boundary you create is a statement. My peace is valuable, and I choose to protect it. Another key part of guarding your energy is being selective about your focus. Your attention is the gateway to your energy. What you give attention to grows, and what you neglect fades. If you constantly give your energy to what is wrong, what is missing, or who has hurt you, you feed those things and keep them alive in your mind. But if you shift your attention to gratitude, possibilities, and what uplifts you, you create an entirely different atmosphere within yourself. It is not about pretending problems do not exist. It is about refusing to make them the center of your life. Rest is also a form of energy protection. In a world that glorifies constant action, Stillness becomes a radical act of self-care. Taking time to rest is not laziness, it is restoration. When you rest, you recharge your inner battery. You give your mind space to breathe and your emotions space to settle. Sleep meditation, deep breathing, or simply being alone in nature are ways to reclaim energy that has been scattered in all directions. There will always be people and situations that try to pull your energy through drama, through urgency, through manipulation, or even unconsciously. But you have the power to choose what you allow in. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not everyone deserves your immediate availability. The more you practice pausing before you give your energy away, the more powerful you become. You begin to act from a place of intention instead of impulse. You start living as a creator of your reality rather than a responder to everyone else's chaos. Guarding your energy also means nourishing yourself. What you eat, what you read, what you watch, and what you listen to all shape your inner world. Filling yourself with inspiring words, wholesome food, uplifting music, and empowering thoughts is like putting gold into your treasure chest. The more you nourish yourself, the less susceptible you become to external negativity. You start glowing from within because you are not surviving on scraps. You are building your own source of strength. Ultimately, when you guard your energy like treasure, you send a message to the world: I know my worth. I respect my peace. I honor my time. You stop seeking validation from those who drain you and start attracting those who match your frequency. Your relationships improve because they are no longer based on what you can give endlessly, but on mutual respect and balance. Your goals become clearer because your mind is no longer cluttered with unnecessary noise. And your heart becomes lighter because you are no longer carrying the emotional baggage of everyone around you. This is not selfishness, this is self-preservation. A candle can only light others when it remains lit. You are that candle. Protect your flame, nurture it, and let it shine where it is truly appreciated. In doing so, you will not only protect your energy, but also inspire others to do the same. When you treat your energy as treasure, life begins to give you more reasons to feel rich from the inside out. There is a quiet strength in the ability to pause when everything around you seems to demand a reaction. Life will often present moments where emotions rise quickly: anger, frustration, disappointment, even excitement. And in those moments, the instinct is to respond immediately. But a response born out of raw emotion rarely carries wisdom. It often leaves regret, burns bridges, and takes away your inner calm. Choosing stillness before reaction is not weakness. It is mastery of self. It is the space where you reclaim your power and decide what truly deserves your energy. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It is about doing the inner work first. When someone provokes you with harsh words or unexpected behavior, stillness allows you to observe rather than attack. It gives you a moment to breathe, to separate the event from your interpretation of it. This pause is where clarity is born. Instead of lashing out, you begin to ask yourself, does this situation really need my anger, or does it simply need my understanding? Does this moment define me, or is it just a passing cloud in the vastness of my life? These questions only arise in stillness, never in haste. Every reaction you give is a piece of your energy handed over. When you respond in anger, you hand your power to the person who triggered you. When you respond in fear, you feed the very thing that unsettled you. But when you choose stillness, you stay rooted in yourself. You become like a deep ocean that remains calm even when the surface waves are wild. People may try to stir you. Circumstances may try to push you, but nothing penetrates the depth of your inner sea unless you allow it. Practicing stillness begins with awareness of your emotional triggers. Notice what makes your heart race, your voice rise, or your hands clench. These are the areas where you have been conditioned to react without thought. The more you observe them, the more you understand that a trigger is just a signal, not a command. It is a sign that something within you is asking for attention, but it does not mean you must explode or defend yourself instantly. You have the right to step back, to process, and to decide from a place of wisdom. Breathing is one of the simplest and most powerful tools for cultivating stillness. In moments of tension, take a deep breath in, hold it for a second, and release slowly. This single act interrupts the cycle of reactivity. It sends a message to your mind and body that you are safe, that you are not in danger, that you can choose a higher response. Over time, this becomes a natural habit. This to breathing, euphoria, for speaking, reflecting before acting. Responding with stillness does not mean you become passive or indifferent. It means your actions carry weight because they are deliberate, not impulsive. You can still set boundaries, speak your truth, and stand up for yourself, but from a grounded place rather than an emotional storm. A calm statement often carries more authority than a loud argument. A quiet can have more impact than 1,000 defensive explanations. People sense your power not in how loud you roar, but in how steady you remain when others lose balance. This way of responding also transforms your relationships. When you stop reacting to every mood, every criticism, or every test thrown your way, you change the dynamic. You teach people that your emotions are not theirs to control. You show them that you are not easily shaken, and this often earns respect even from those who tried to provoke you. It also saves you from unnecessary conflicts, because most arguments do not need to happen. They only continue when two people keep feeding them with reactions. In your personal growth, stillness becomes a sacred space where insight arises. Many solutions come not from thinking harder, but from stepping back and letting the mind settle. Just as muddy water clears when left undisturbed, your thoughts become clearer when you give them time to rest. Answers often appear in silence, in a walk alone, a quiet evening, or a moment of reflection, rather than in heated conversations or rushed decisions. Responding with stillness is also a form of self-respect. It says, I value my peace more than this chaos. It keeps you aligned with your own values, rather than being pulled by someone else's behavior. It reminds you that not every opinion needs to be addressed, not every insult needs to be answered, and not every situation deserves your full attention. Silence is not surrender, it is choosing to protect your mental and emotional well-being. Over time, this practice turns into strength that others notice. They will wonder why you no longer get upset over the little things, why you walk away instead of arguing, why your energy seems untouched by their storms. That is because stillness creates an invisible shield around you. It does not stop life from happening, but it stops life from breaking you. So the next time life presents you with a moment that calls for reaction, give yourself the gift of stillness first. Pause, breathe, observe, and ask, is this worth my energy? Will my reaction build or destroy? Does this moment define me, or can I let it pass? From that pause, respond not with emotion, but with presence. This is where your true power lies, not in how fast you react, but in how calmly you choose. There comes a point in life where you begin to realize that not everyone has the right to unlimited access to you. Your time, your mind, your heart, and your energy are sacred, and the more you give them away without intention, the more you begin to feel empty, unappreciated, or even resentful. Setting boundaries is not about pushing people away or living with a closed heart. It is about drawing a clear line between what nurtures you and what drains you. It is the art of saying, this is where I end and where you begin. And the most powerful thing you can do is set those boundaries without apology. From a young age, many of us are taught to please others, to avoid conflict, and to say yes even when we mean no. We are told that being kind means being endlessly available, that being loving means allowing everything, that being generous means sacrificing ourselves. But kindness does not mean self-neglect. Love does not mean enduring disrespect. Generosity does not mean abandon your own needs. Boundaries are the bridge between self-respect and healthy connection. They create a structure where both you others can meet with clarity, understanding, and mutual respect. Setting boundaries without apology begins with recognizing your worth. When you know what you deserve, it becomes easier to decide what you will no longer tolerate. If you value your peace, you will not engage in endless arguments. If you value your time, you will not overcommit to people who drain you. If you value your growth, you will not remain in spaces where you are constantly diminished. Boundaries are a declaration of self-love. They are not selfish, they are sacred. There is power in the word no, and yet is the word so many people fear using. We fear rejection, we fear judgment, we fear being misunderstood. But every time you say yes when you mean no, you betray yourself. Every time you ignore your own needs to keep others comfortable, you teach them that your limits do not matter. Over time, this leads to quiet resentment, burnout, and a loss of authenticity. Saying no is not a rejection of others. It is an affirmation of yourself. It is saying, I choose what is aligned with my well-being. When you set boundaries, expect resistance. Not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are changing a pattern that may have benefited others. People who are used to your constant availability might question your distance. Those who are accustomed to taking without giving might feel unsettled when you finally stand up for yourself. Do not let this discomfort pull you back into old patterns. Their reaction is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to honor your limits. Over time, the right people will respect you more, not less, because of the clarity you bring. Setting boundaries without apology also requires communication. Boundaries do not have to be harsh, but they must be clear. A simple statement like, I am not available for this conversation right now, or I need time to think before committing, or this does not align with my values, can be powerful. You do not owe anyone a lengthy explanation. Boundaries are not about convincing others, they are about informing them. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Another important truth is that boundaries are not just for others. They are also for yourself. Sometimes you must set limits on your own habits that keep you stuck, overthinking, procrastinating, saying yes to distractions, or engaging in cycles that steal your energy. Self-boundaries are an act of discipline that allows you to grow. It is saying, I will no longer betray my own goals just to keep others happy. Or, I will not keep reopening doors that were meant to stay closed. The beauty of boundaries is that they create space. Space for peace. Space for healing. Space for real connection with people who meet you where you are without expecting you to shrink or stretch unnaturally. Boundaries make relationships healthier because they come from a place of honesty rather than silent sacrifice. They allow you to love others from a full heart instead of a resentful one. When you stop apologizing for your boundaries, you stop living in fear of being misunderstood. You start living in alignment with your truth. You realize that it is not your job to explain why you value your peace, your time, or your growth. It is your job to protect them. Some will not understand at first, but the ones who truly care for you will adjust, because they will see that your boundaries are not walls. They are doors that lead to more authentic and balanced relationships. So, Give yourself permission today to set boundaries without guilt. Let go of the need to please everyone. Stand firm in your choices. Say no when your heart says no. And yes, when it truly feels aligned. You are not here to exhaust yourself for the comfort of others. You are here to live fully, love deeply, and thrive authentically. Boundaries are how you build that life, not by shutting the world out, but by letting only what is right for you in. There comes a time when you realize that the loudest noise in your life is not always coming from the outside world. It is coming from within. The endless stream of thoughts, the constant comparisons, the expectations of others, the fears that whisper in the dark, these shape the way you see everything. You can change jobs, move cities, start new relationships, and chase new goals. But if your inner world is chaotic, unsettled, or unhealed, that chaos will follow you everywhere. Focusing on your inner world is not about escaping reality. It is about creating a foundation so strong that no matter what storms arrive, you remain steady and at peace. Your inner world is the soil from which your life grows. If that soil is filled with negativity, resentment, or unprocessed pain, it becomes difficult for joy, love, or abundance to take root. But when you nurture it with positive thoughts, self-compassion, and conscious reflection, everything in your outer life begins to shift. People notice the lightness in your energy. Opportunities flow more easily. Relationships become less about fixing and more about connecting. The change always begins from the inside. Focusing on your inner world means paying attention to your thoughts. So much of your daily experience is filtered through the lens of what you constantly tell yourself. If your inner dialogue is full of doubt, criticism, and fear, it shapes your reality to match that vibration. But if you begin to speak kindly to yourself, to affirm your worth, and to choose thoughts that uplift you, you start creating a life that reflects that inner kindness. Thoughts are powerful. They are the seeds of your future. If you want a better tomorrow, plant better seeds today. It also means caring for your emotional well-being. Many people walk around carrying years of suppressed emotions. Anger that was never expressed, sadness that was never released, guilt that was never forgiven. These emotions sit quietly until something triggers them, and then they rise like a tide, overwhelming you. Focusing on your inner world invites you to sit with your feelings, to acknowledge them, to allow them to move through you without shame or judgment. Healing does not come from pretending you are fine. It comes from being brave enough to look within and nurture what hurts. Your inner world is not just your thoughts and emotions. It is also your connection to something greater. Your intuition, your values, your spirit. In the noise of everyday life, that quiet voice within is often drowned out. But when you slow down, when you create moments of silence, through meditation, journaling, prayer, or simply sitting alone without distraction, you begin to hear your own guidance again. It may not shout, but it always whispers the truth. It tells you when to walk away, when to stay, when to act, and when to wait. The more you trust it, the more your life aligns with a deeper sense of purpose. Focusing inward also requires letting go of the need for constant external validation. The world will always have opinions. Some will praise you, some will criticize you, some will misunderstand you completely. If your sense of worth rises and falls with those opinions, you will never feel secure. But when you build your worth from within, when you know who you are and what you stand for, the noise outside loses its power. You can receive praise without becoming inflated and criticism without becoming broken. A practical way to begin is to create daily rituals that nourish your inner world. This could be as simple as starting your morning with gratitude instead of scrolling through negativity. It could be writing down your intentions before you begin your day. It could be spending 10 quiet minutes breathing deeply and reminding yourself that you are safe, capable, and enough. These small habits build an inner environment where peace, creativity, and resilience naturally grow. As you focus more inward, something remarkable happens. Your outer world starts to mirror your inner transformation. People who once drained you may drift away. New connections that match your energy begin to appear. Opportunities seem to align without the same struggle. Challenges still come, but you meet them with a calm strength instead of fear or panic. You stop chasing what is not meant for you and start attracting what is. This does not mean you stop caring about the outer world. It means you approach it from a place of wholeness rather than emptiness. You give because you want to, not because you are desperate to be accepted. You work towards your goals because they inspire you, not because you are trying to prove your worth. You love others more freely because you no longer need them to fill a void. You are already full. The journey of focusing on your inner world is ongoing. There will be days when old thoughts resurface, when you get pulled into noise or distraction. That is natural. What matters is that you keep returning to yourself again and again until that inner sanctuary becomes your true home. When your inner world is strong, your outer world becomes a reflection of that strength. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer shaken by every imperfection. So, take time each day to turn inward. Ask yourself, what am I carrying that is not mine? What can I release today to make space for peace? What truth have I been ignoring that is quietly waiting to guide me? Your inner world is where your power begins. Protect it, nurture it, and watch how everything else starts to fall into place. Not by force, but by the natural alignment of a life built from the inside out. There is a quiet strength that comes when you choose peace over chaos, when you no longer allow the storms outside of you to dictate the calm within. Peace is not weakness, it is the foundation of true power. In a world that thrives on noise, conflict, and constant reaction, choosing peace becomes a revolutionary act. It is in this stillness that you discover your ability to transform your life and shape your reality. Peace is your anchor. It keeps you steady while everything else may sway. Power is not about control over others. It is about mastery over yourself, and peace is the gateway to that mastery. When you stop fighting every battle, you begin to win the ones that truly matter. There is no need to prove your worth to anyone. Your silence can speak louder than any argument. Your calm can influence more deeply than any outburst. The world often tells you to be louder, to react faster, to prove your strength through force. But the truth is, power lies in restraint. Power lies in knowing that not every comment deserves your energy. Not every invitation to drama deserves your presence. And not every conflict is meant to be engaged with. The moment you embrace peace, you rise above the chaos that once consumed you. Your peace is your responsibility. It is not something given to you by others, and therefore, it is not something that others can take away unless you allow it. Every time you react out of anger or fear, you hand your power to someone else. But when you pause, breathe, and choose your response with intention, you keep your energy where it belongs, within you. This is how you turn peace into power, by making it your default state rather than a fleeting moment. Protect it like the most valuable possession you own, because in truth it is. There will be people who do not understand your calmness. They may mistake it for indifference or weakness, but that is because they are still trapped in the cycle of needing to be heard through noise. You are not here to match their frequency. You are here to maintain your own. The most powerful people are not those who dominate others. They are the ones who master themselves so completely that nothing outside of them can disturb their center. Your power grows in the moments you choose not to fight, not to explain, not to justify, but simply to be. Turning peace into power also means making choices that honor your well-being. It means walking away when something threatens your inner harmony. It means saying no without guilt, choosing rest over endless proving, and choosing clarity over confusion. It is not selfish to protect your peace, it is necessary. Because when you operate from peace, you become more creative, more loving, more resilient. Your mind clears, your intuition sharpens, and your life begins to reflect the calm you hold within. This is not a journey of perfection. There will be days when peace feels distant, when chaos feels louder, when old patterns tempt you to react. But each time you return to your breath, to your center, to your truth, you strengthen that inner power. You are not here to control the world. You are here to master your presence in it. The storms may rage, but you remain the sky vast, unshaken, eternal. So, begin now. Let your peace be your silent power. Let it guide your words, shape your decisions, and light your path. With each calm response, with each pause before reacting, with each choice to protect your energy, you are reclaiming your life. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, you are a creator of calm. And in that calm lies a force so strong, it does not need to shout to be heard. It simply radiates, and the world feels it.